this is KDE again. There's a feature in KDE. There are two features actually. One is called virtual desktops, and I will show a virtual desktop. Add widgets. All right, we're gonna go over here. Activity bar, virtual desktop, application dashboard. I thought it was at the top. Oh, activities. Activity pager. I don't see it. Digital clock. This quota device notifier. Alright, pager. That's it. So, alright, am I supposed to drag it? Alright. Right now I don't have any of those. I only have one desktop right now. Let's go set that up. Okay, so VIRT, virtual desktops. Alright, shows number of desktops. So you can like pick a number. This interface is not intuitive at all, but at least it is complete and feature filled. So that much is good. And click OK. Ooh, I don't need 5 of those. That'll be huge. Say like, nah, let's go ahead and do 4. Alright, so 4. It shows them down here. Each one of these is a new desktop. Desktop 2, desktop 3, desktop 4, main desktop. This one's normally called desktop 1 by default. So what this allows you to do, you can move your windows from one to another desktop to keep them organized. But you'll notice that the Firefox icon still shows in this desktop, this virtual desktop, even though it is associated with that desktop. So when I click it, it moves over to this desktop here. So there's a problem with that because it makes it difficult to really keep yourself from getting distracted by having to read a bunch of like lists of open windows. Let's say you have a Firefox browser open in every single virtual desktop, right? So all 4 of those are going to show when you highlight this, and then you can't just click it to open up what you were looking at. When you click it, here, let's go ahead and make a new one. New one. And we're going to move this one over. All right, see it right there. All right, so when I click on this, it shows a bunch of previews. That's all right, but it doesn't tell you which desktop they're on, and it doesn't isolate the ones that are on the desktop that you're looking at right now. Let's say that's all I wanted to deal with was the ones that were on this desktop. That's problematic. So what KDE did was they came up with a new feature called activities, and we're going to close this. All right. And so for activities, they're kind of like virtual desktops. In fact, you can add a control here that shows them in the same data structure here. Let's see here. How do I delete that? Pager. Delete a pager. I'm going to add widgets. I'm going to go over here. I'm going to find the activities, activity pager. I mean, if this feature works, it's very, very nice. And there's a control at the top left. This is ... If I click it, it brings up the activities panel on the left, where I can add new activities, because I can't do that here, which is again a problematic implementation. It's not intuitive. It's too much duplication of effort, and everything is just ad hoc and put in random places. So when I first found this feature, there was a bug. When I click create activity, instead of showing this window right here, it would show a blank window. Actually, okay, the window would not be blank. It would have this tab control here, general and other. But the general the interior contents of general tab and other tab would be blank. So I don't know why, but after adding about 5 of these, the interior contents are no longer blank by default. I don't know if I can reverse that change to display to show the bug, but we're not going to be able to do that right now. So I wanted to focus on the functionality of this feature. So what it does is it allows you to organize your things into activities, named activities, kind of like the desktops, virtual desktops, but it isolates the processes so that when you're looking at one activity, all of your Firefox tabs from another activity are not displayed and they're not affected. You can start new Firefox browsers inside of this activity and keep them organized that way. And the good thing is that when you shut down your computer, unlike in Windows, and I don't know about Mac OS, but Mac OS has a Mac OS allows you to shut down and reboot your computer without closing your apps. But yeah, basically, unlike Windows, you can shut down your computer and KDE will remember which applications were open, and in some cases it will remember what the internal state of the program was. For example, which tab was selected. I don't know, if you like open up console, it doesn't actually remember this, but as an example, for some applications, it'll remember like what file you had open. It'll remember some of the internal configuration of the program while you were using it. Let's go over to this one. No, not that one. Not this one either. Not that one. Okay, well, I don't see any of these that are great examples because Firefox already remembers its internal state, so I guess it doesn't need to rely on KDE for that. But something like this right here, the console app, spelled with a K because this is KDE, it will remember your window position and it will remember that you were running the program, but it will not remember whether you were a different user or whatever. It always starts out in this default directory, which is your home directory. If you do print working directory, there we go. So that is your home, my home directory, and it is abbreviated as tilde. Okay, so there's that. And what I've read is that the pager function, the activities functionality does not work. So how do I remove that one? All I want to do is remove it. All right. I can close that. And so there's a small problem with using this activity pager down here, the one that I just got rid of, compared to this thing. The one down there only shows window outlines. This one will tell you the name without highlighting it. And the activities feature tends to reorder your activities, I think. Like Redux, NixOS, Haskell. You'll notice that it goes Redux, NixOS, main, job search, Haskell. So these orderings have nothing to do with each other. And my main activity was created first, so it should be at the top, but it's not. So basically these are not ordered very well, or they're ordered by some metric that I can't figure out because it doesn't make sense. I've been working on this one all day long, but for some reason Haskell is listed first. Alright, so going back to this, what I want to test is whether the order, okay, no, I already know the order isn't going to be the same. What I want to test is whether it remembers which windows are where, because when I turned my computer on today, I noticed that the Haskell programming stuff was over in the Redux activity instead of where it was supposed to be, and the Redux activity was over in Haskell. So yeah, I read online that somebody else had problems with it remembering which activity stored what, and I'm pretty confident this is because they reorder the activities, but they probably assign the windows based on an array offset, or like a position in the list of activities. So when they reorder it, they forget that they reorder it, and they don't identify the activity by its name. They identify the activity by, or they assign the window to the activity by its index in the list or the array. And yeah, basically it's just shoddy workmanship, them not keeping track of what they did, and then processing stuff that they didn't understand. And this is what is known as a side effect in programming. This is where you mutate state. Mutating state is a side effect. Now, this is a problem that results from making programs in a side effect driven way. So this kind of thing should be avoided at all costs, and this is why everyone should learn Haskell, or at least some functional programming language. Any language that's derived from Lisp is going to be a functional programming language, so check out Racket, and then check out Haskell for more performance intensive stuff. So yeah, basically just avoid mutating variables. Variables that change during the course of execution are a source of bugs like this. This is why I dislike object-oriented programming. This is why I dislike imperative programming. Alright, so now I'm going to restart the computer, and I'm going to see if it remembers where all this stuff is. Alright, so let's remember this. Haskell, job search, main, NixOS, Redux. And I hope I'm not breaking any project I was working on. Rebuto.